This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're coming and tuned in into the TCSF podcast with Big Z, featuring Stevie B from the Water on the Weekend podcast and JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. And we're coming to you from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This episode 238, and we're fired up to dive into everything that makes Chicago great. Brought to you by 606 Media, where your ultimate sports for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606media.com to snag your official TCSF podcast t-shirt, or check out our exclusive For the Love of Sports merchandise lines to show off your Chicago pride. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, what are you supposed to do?
Smash and subscribe.
That's right. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, please leave us a 5-star review and drop some nice, kind words. It'll mean the world to us. Looking for more ways to get involved? Support the show with the monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. For as little as 99 cents a month, every bit helps us keep the conversation going week to week. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe to the rest of the 606 Media family. In Podcast with Big Z, we dive deep into fascinating life stories with engaging discussions, insightful interviews, and plenty of humor. New episode dropped last Friday with Miguel Alvila. Definitely a good episode. Definitely check that out. Please show some love and watch that. No Water on the Weekend had a nice episode last night with Steven and Sean. It's a pop culture podcast serving up funny trivia, film, TV, music, and all the latest Chicago-centric happenings. Stevie B, what you talk about last?
Well, last night, yeah, it's a rough one for me today because we kept the party going afterwards.
Okay.
So the audio, okay, Sean again forgot to press record on his main board.
Yep.
So we got the audio from the episode doing it here on this platform. So I sent him the audio, so he's going to get that going. But if you want to check it out, it's been all over YouTube, on Twitch for No One on the Weekend, the way it's spelled right there. And it's up on there. So, go check out the YouTube video. See it live because we had a dance party at the end. Not an actual us dancing, but the lights are going off at the end. So we talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of Daredevil stuff. I think that was important to talk about. Really geeked out. Talked about what we're going to talk about here for Stirring the Pot at the end of the show. So, yeah, overall, it was a great thing. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a great show. I was watching and chiming in through the Twitch channel. So definitely check that episode out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, strap it in. Get ready for an unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports culture and beyond. Let's get started. Without further delay, episode 238, Free Agent Frenzy. This is JC's Christmas. So he's giddy to get at the chomp. But let's break down the latest Chicago Bears additions. We got Dalman, we got Jackson, you got Odeyingbo, Jarret, and Thuney as additions to the Chicago Bears. What's next for the Chicago Bears? What does it mean for the draft focus? Does it change it? We'll talk about our Chicago Bulls who are playing right now to play Indiana. The Bulls are looking for identity. It looks like as some pieces come in, some pieces come out, and there's no continuity, but we'll talk about that. The Blackhawks made some more trades. Steve B will talk about that as we close out the show. They look like they're winning. They did lose to Nashville in overtime, but it was a really good game. And then we'll finish off with Stirring the Pot, and CBB will take the helm on that one. So let's get started. The Bears GM has been busy. Ryan Poles continue to beef up the team's pass rush on Monday, according to Adam Schefter. Poles agreed to a 3-year deal with former Falcons defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, worth $43.5 million with $28.5 guaranteed. Atlanta had just released him earlier in the day. Jarrett, who is about to turn 32, is a 10-year vet with 36.5 career sacks and 77 tackles for loss, 5 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. JC, what can you tell me about this addition of Grady Jarrett?
To me, it's a great addition. I kind of was hoping for Jonathan Allen, but first off, I guess let's start with, I guess there was a hack of Twitter this morning. So, me and my guys in the group chat were freaking out because nobody knew what the heck was going on. Nobody knew, like, we're all sitting there like, what's happening? X is down. Where do we go to find out the latest news? Everybody's freaking out.
Threads. Use Threads.
Please do. Everything on Threads is fake. Like all I get is like fake everything on Threads.
Schefter has an account there, so I follow him. I don't follow many people on Threads, but I still follow the news guys on every single platform in case X goes down for that same reason.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. According to Elon, it was a hack by someone, very intricate. So they think it's some government somewhere. But we don't talk politics here. We talk, sports. So, again, I was looking at Jonathan Allen and, was hoping for him. But I think that Grady Jarrett, I think he's 1 year older than Jonathan Allen. I think we're going to pay him a little less than Jonathan Allen's going to get from the Vikings because he was doing a visit with the Vikings. So we'll see where we end up here. But a great addition. We talked about it all last year when Billings went down that, Trevon Dexter had a subpar season because he didn't have a running mate there in the trenches. So now you have Billings, you have Dexter, and you have Grady Jarrett. To me, that is going to be a great rotation going for us in the trenches. That is exactly what we had talked about and what we need.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more with getting these veteran guys who have been proven to produce. Now we understand he's not going to be here for the long run, but he's going to be here for the duration of Caleb. So again, like you talked about these contracts where it says 3 years, it's really like a 2-year contract. So if he doesn't produce after 2 years, you can cut him, and it doesn't.
Yeah. A lot of times the dead money, or guaranteed money, is pretty much up front, and then you end up with one year where there's no money owed. Yeah,
definitely. The Bears are set to sign. Well, they did sign defensive lineman Dayo Odeyingbo per Ian Rappaport. This move bolsters the pass rush. This came hours after they signed another person we'll get into in a second. Odeyingbo played 61 games and 19 starts in 4 years for the Colts. Over that time, he notched 16 and a half sacks and 21 tackles for loss, 5 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. He comes from Indianapolis and played the edge, but also he did play interior on occasion. So another versatile guy who has some pedigree. Maybe a change of scenery, maybe with a better defensive coordinator, we can bring out some greatness on him. JC, what do you see in Odeyingbo?
Everyone's saying that he has a lot of upside coming to us. Other than that, I'm not too familiar with him, really. I mean, I know he's 25 years old, yes, and everyone's basically saying like he really hasn't hit his peak yet, that he still has a pretty high ceiling, and that, hopefully he hits that with the Bears. I'll tell you right now, with the trenches that we're building, Montez Sweat on the opposite side, he should have an opportunity to ball out. But, as I was talking to my guys in the group chat, I'm still not against taking one of these edge rushers high up there at pick 10, depending on what we're looking at now. Are we looking at best available? Or are we still looking at, as I was telling my guys, we still have not extended Thuney. I kind of thought that might be one of the situation when he first signed. And I don't want to talk about it too much because I know we're going to touch on Thuney in a second.
Yep.
But just talking about that contract where, we had hoped he would sign, maybe there was an extension. Now we're looking at like, okay, pick 10, we got a defensive tackle, we got an edge, and we shored up the interior offensive line. So now it's like, okay, like at 10, we're kind of free to do what we want, maybe, but I would still love that left tackle or edge rusher upside and getting a good rotation going, especially edge. You can always have extra guys that are on the sideline, rested and ready to rush the passer. So, it could be a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with you there as well, because you can never have too many linemen. These guys are big, they're strong, but they do go down with injuries. So the more people you can put in a rotation keeps the other guys fresh. We talked about Khalil Mack, and he was re-signed for way too much with the Chargers for $18 million, I believe.
One year, $18 million.
Too much
for 6 sacks last year, which I think a bunch of them came in one game against a poor team.
I would not. If it would have been something around 9 or 10 million, where he's just a guy in the rotation, he said he doesn't want to be the main guy, because he probably can at this point. So you definitely would have said 8, 9, 10 million for 1 year. You book that real quick. But for 18 million, there's no way. I'll spend my money elsewhere, and they sure did.
I think the problem there was, the Bears probably offered him 12 to 15 million, but the Chargers released Joey Bosa as well. So you got to remember they're losing potentially Khalil Mack and Bosa.
Right.
So therefore, I think they unfortunately overpaid Khalil Mack to stay when they really shouldn't have.
No, definitely should have not done that. The Bears also went over to get the man that we've been talking about for weeks, Drew Dalman. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah, we got a center that started 40 games for the Falcons the past 3 seasons. Only gave up 4 sacks, 11 quarterback hits, 51 hurries over that time. He's also regarded as one of the better running blocking centers in the league. What can we say about Drew Dalman that we haven't said before? But go ahead, JC.
PFF has him graded as, I think, the 5th best running center last year. Also, Bijan Robinson running through the A gap off of Dalman's right side, averaged 4.99 yards per attempt. So that's great, getting the push off the center in that A gap. Like I said, and then you add in the guys that are going to be playing next to him. This line is going to be, cross your fingers, knock on wood, that they stay healthy, that everything plays out the way it should. But I'm going to be happily impressed by this line, I have a feeling, this year.
Yeah, it's definitely going to look really, really good. It feels, when we had, who did we have? What am I thinking? We had Garza, and we had, who was that center? He still was with us for Olin Kreutz, right?
Olin Kreutz, yeah.
Yeah, it was, we had a bunch of, a really good offensive line that year. And it seems to be that way. And it's great that the Bears are actually putting, money into the offensive line that we've been begging for years to happen. We also acquired Joe Thuney from Kansas City for a 2026 4th-round pick. So this is definitely another part to the offensive line. He was a fixture in New England and Kansas City, so he's proven winner. He's won some Super Bowls. He protected, Mahomes and Brady, so he understands. So this is one of the guys that's going to be the leaders on the offensive line. Someone who can identify defense and relay that to Caleb and the rest of the offensive line. But JC, what is your impression of Joe Thuney?
I just want to say hello, Crooked Commish, and welcome, on. Joe Thuney, let's talk about it. A 4th-round pick for an all-pro Pro Bowler. Yeah, we're taking on his salary, but guess what? I'll take it. Him and Jarret were rated the two of the top 4 guards in pass blocking last year. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll put that on my offensive line. Thank you very much. Yes, Thuney is getting up there a little bit in age. He's 32, but the guy's never been injured. He plays almost every single game. He is just out there, stout, doing his job, and that's what you love to see. That's something Tevin Jenkins couldn't do for us, unfortunately. And now you look at it, you got the best center in free agency. You got the best left guard, the best right guard, who weren't even free agents, but now that you got them compared to who was out there on the market, guess what? You got the best guy available. And you gave away a fourth, which to me, after the third round, you start to get into prospect area where, and backups and, special teamers and stuff like that, which, no offense, I mean, the Bears had issues with Kevin White in the first round. So I'll take the guaranteed Pro Bowler and all pro for a fourth round.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day. Like I said, great day for us. I'm ecstatic. Still talking to my guys in the group chat though, that, at 10, because, now that we're talking about Thuney, when we traded for him, I thought, okay, we're going to get an extension done here. And, we're going to, extend that contract out, maybe get some cap space, rework the contract, do some things, but that hasn't happened yet. So it's one of those where it's like, all right, is Will Campbell at 10 still a possibility to be your long-term left guard, and Thuney's just a rental for a year? If he's a rental for a year, that's kind of a high price for a fourth round pick. But if we extend Thuney at some point in the offseason, maybe it's something, maybe Thuney doesn't want to talk extension until he sees how the season's going. I don't know what the reason is. I kind of had expected once we made the trade that there would be extension talks. I haven't heard of anything in the way of that. But like I said, I mean, as a Bears fan, how can you not be excited right now with how free agency has gone, how Poles has traded for two fantastic guards? I mean, the only thing you got to fix now is potentially Braxton Jones, who's a free agent next year. Who's the long-term replacement? Or do we let Braxton play it out and see what he's got and then extend him? So it's one of those, we're going to see what happens here. But at 10, I would not take offensive tackle off the board as a potential pick just yet.
Right. I think especially with the acquisition of Jonah Jackson from Los Angeles for a 2025 6th-round pick, again, you continue to add people onto this line who have played it for multiple seasons, who have proven being able to do it. I think Jonah Jackson was out there with our coach in Detroit, so they overlapped a little bit. So he's only going to cost us $17 million this season. He was mostly injured last year, and they had moved him around the center, even though he was coming off an injury, and then he got benched towards the end of the season. Again, that's all circumstantial stuff. If you're coming off an injury and they're moving you around, it's a big problem, and they already had an offensive line problem. So I don't put this on them, especially if you have such a great collection of guys that you brought in, and you're adding him on there. And let's say he's the weakest of the line. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that we have such a great talent up there now that, even like if in the Madden terms, if he's a 76 with a bunch of guys who are in the upper 80s or low 90s as pass blocker, run blockers, it's not really going to hurt you.
The bottom line is he was a Pro Bowler under the Lions. So
Johnson, yep.
I mean, that was 2 or 3 years ago. So injury concern, with the Rams, but you're still talking about a Pro Bowler. You're still talking about a guy that has a high upside that, again, we didn't give much away for.
No, you would have drafted a project lineman at that round.
Exactly.
So you got someone who can actually play the position and play at a high level. For a 6th-round pick, gold, super gold.
Yeah, it's the Lions looked at how poorly he played last year and said, how much are we paying him? oh my God, like we need salary cap space. And so what they did was they looked for someone who wanted to make a move. And guess what? The Bears are like, look, we got the cap space. Ben Johnson thinks this guy has the upside. He's worked with him before. We think he still has stuff left in the tank and Pro Bowl potential. Let's go out and sign him. I mean, period. And like I said, I mean, we'll see what happens come regular season. But right now, I mean, this is everything the Bears franchise and Bears fandom hoped would happen this offseason.
Yeah,
And
we
they're getting it
actually look like a real NFL team that's looking to contend for years to come. The Bears also signed tight end Durham Smithy. I don't know how you can pronounce his name. So 1-year contract. Again, that's insurance. Signed cornerback Josh Blackwell to a 2-year contract extension. Re-signed linebacker Amen Abaninga. I can never say his last name. To a 2-year contract. I think we're still a little light on linebackers. I still think we can get another defensive lineman. We need somebody in the secondary. Offensive line, one more. Again, there's still a lot of issues with the team that needs to grow. We need to add more things. It would be done through free agency and through the draft. But with everything that's happened now, who or what is the vision for the draft now? Are you drafting like JC best available? Are you drafting, you have a little bit more liberty to even say that, on the radio all day, they were talking about Gentry. And I really don't think that we need another running back at that point. I think you can get the Ohio State running back in the second round or someone else later on. I really do think that right now you should get, your bricks and mortar set, which is your offensive line, your defensive line, before you start getting all the shiny toys like we did the year before. So, JC, what's the prognosis on this draft of the Bears?
The one thing that interests me is, I'm looking it up right now, is how many seasons Cole Kmet has left.
I think he's done after this one coming up.
Yeah, but he was a first round, so I don't know if he still has a 5th-year option available at the end of this year that we could put a 5th-year option on him. That's why I'm trying to look it up. 2020.
I will say this while JC looks that up. Justin Fields is a New York Jet, and that's
$30
crazy.
million guaranteed, 40 years for 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's a total risk. I wouldn't have paid him that money.
No,
I wouldn't have paid him that. But you know what? He's still,
Yeah, he's on vacationing, and Pittsburgh was, kind of sitting on their hands, waiting to see what happened with Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers is gonna say, "I want to go there," or if he wants to go somewhere else. And Russell Wilson is another option that they have. And, Justin Field kind of felt like he was an odd man out. He's like, well, I'm just going to take the guaranteed money that's going to sit right here. And he's going to be teamed up with his wide receiver from Ohio State. Right. So they'll have some kind of, connection. So I really think it may be the best thing for Justin, because it's one of the assistants from Ben Johnson, who's now the coach up there in New York. So the offense is going to be better. They'll play to his strengths. You already have a lot of good offensive weapons there. I don't know how good the offensive line was, but at least I think that familiarity with playing Justin for years against Detroit will help out that coach out there.
Yeah, and I also think the NFC North we got stronger, of course, right? Super Bowl. Yep. But no, Sam Darnold going to Seattle was a different change of pace. I would not expect that, but I'm glad for him.
I thought he was franchise tagged.
No,
I thought he was.
No.
The
Vikings did not tag him. They were trying to work out a deal with him to get him to stay, but I'm sure it was on a short-term deal because they had JJ McCarthy still.
Unproven product. An unproven product.
Yep.
So rather than take a 2-year deal, that's really a 1-year deal. Darnold was like, "No, I'm going to go somewhere else and get a 3 or 4-year contract and call it a day."
Yeah, I think Minnesota probably is going to be at the close to the bottom, if not, if JJ doesn't pan out. So like, they hope that he will. So
we're going to find out this season.
Yep.
You're definitely going to find out this season.
Super Bowl.
Put your bets in now, people. Super Bowl. You're going to see the Bills and the Bears in the Super Bowl.
All right, so back to it. Cole Kmet, he is under contract with the 5th-year option till 2027. But there isn't out as of next year. We can cut him next year and save like $8.9 million.
Okay.
So it's one of those. So one of the options that we had talked about in my group chat was the kid Warren, the tight end, potentially at 10. He is supposed to be like a Jeremy Shockey / George Kittle type, where he loves blocking first and then catching second. So it's one of those where, Gianti, I could see it happening. I could see Warren happening. But to me, like, I still lean towards like that left tackle position, knowing Braxton Jones is gone next year, potentially, and drafting his replacement at the 10 spot, whether that be Membu, whether that be Josh Simmons, one of those guys at 10 that can be your hold it down left tackle for the next 5 to 10 years. And to me, that's still an important, especially because Braxton is constantly nicked up, injured, missing 2-3 games here and there, comes back, plays 2 games, gets nicked up again. To me, to draft his potential replacement while we still have the ability and we're high enough to do so in the draft, I say do it and get your running back in round 2. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I would love to get a running back in round 2 to complement what we have with Swift. Roshan, we have no idea what's going on with his concussion status. Another person that we have on the team with concussion issues. So you always, everybody knows that our running backs, you can find them in every single round. It's just how you develop them and how they can rise to the top. Boys, anything else? Anybody else you see maybe on free agency that we would want to add? Now that that is coming up next, that's the biggest thing because right now I think the draft is up in the air. But free agency, any other wants?
I think with everything we've done already, we're already kind of pushing the cap space, which again, you can redo contracts, you can shift money around, you could do all kinds of weird things with the cap and make it work. But that said, like we still got to pay 3 rookies top 50 money. So we got to take that into account. That said, there is one name that I will throw out there, and that is Josh Reynolds, former defensive or Detroit Lion, wide receiver. I think he would be a good wide receiver 3 to play alongside DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. He already knows Ben Johnson's system. He knows the plays. Everything else would be a nice little fit in depending on what he wants to get paid.
Yeah, I don't think the cap's been updated because the deals are not official. I think that might be the issue. It says they have 37 million left, 37.7. That might be a little too high right there. I think this is not including the deals that have been done.
Yeah, and it's also, how they were, did they pay someone $4 million this year and then they're expecting to pay them $12 million next year? Who knows? Like I said, you can make it work, but the other thing I mentioned in the group chat with my guys is, Tyreek Stevenson, he was having issues last year as a cornerback. Could we look at best corner available at 10 as well as a potential? Get somebody across from Jalen Johnson, potentially even move on from Jalen Johnson. Toward not now, But towards the end of Jalen Johnson's contract, like when he has a year left, kind of like what's happening right now with all the wide receivers and everybody else, they're down to a year left on their contract, and you move on from him for like a third or fourth round pick, etc.
They have a lot of work to do. I mean, I know we're excited about all the additions that we've made. We should be pretty much
a contender.
Yeah. Well, this does put us into playoff contention, a minimum at a wild card, if everyone can stay healthy. We have a good offensive line. We made some defensive additions. This makes us a wild card contender. And I want to keep it, expectations low. Everyone's like, "Oh, you'll make the playoffs right away." I'm like, "Nah, let's pump the brakes."
Let's not forget we were in the toughest division last year.
Right.
That hasn't really changed. I mean, yeah, the Vikings. You're going to have J.J. McCarthy now behind center. I mean, Jared Goff is still there. You still got Amon-Ra. You still got the run game in Detroit. We'll see what their offense will be without Ben Johnson there.
Right.
And you still got the Packers who, still end up being 9-10 win seasons.
Yeah.
So like I said, as of right now, as a Bears fan, you got to love what we did. I think we have a better fighting chance now, realistically, than we did last year. Looking at what we have now in the trenches, I mean, that'll help dramatically with the secondary and everything else. So, like I said, to me, the glaring holes now would be the running back situation, corner, safety, basically, because you don't know what, Jaquan Brisker, I love you, but, that concussion issue you had last year does still worry me, how much time you missed. And like I said, I mean, just getting an edge rusher to me, like those are the biggest needs, but like now we're in a good position that we can take best player available, the highest talent. Like we don't have to reach for a specific position because, we're so desperate. I mean, think about it. I mean, we could even draft McMillan, the wide receiver who's, potential top 15, and pair him up with DJ and
Rome. You could even trade back at this point, get more draft capital that you've traded away to get these big boys. So there's the possibility for the draft is endless. And we got to continue to see what's going to happen with free agency, if they're going to continue to add that way, and how it will affect the draft coming up pretty soon. I think we should take a little break right now. We pay some bills, and then on the other side of the break, we'll come back and we'll talk about our Madhouse on Madison report, the Bulls and the Blackhawks, and we'll get back to it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/, or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports.
What up? It's Martin Moreno, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Excuse me, I don't know what happened to Stevie. They got blocked for a second. Welcome back to the TCSS podcast with Big Z. We got Stevie B, No One on the Weekend, and we got JC, Dynasty Fantasy Football. It is time to talk about our teams on the Madhouse on Madison, the Chicago Bulls, who's still sitting at the 10th spot. Just recently, recently are playing Indiana after losing to Miami, winning in Orlando. It's a team of ups and downs, and we've seen this all season. They're still in a 10 spot by like a half a game or something like that. And today they got Vooch back, they got Patrick Williams back, Giddey's playing. Everybody, I think they're almost at full strength. Why Stevie B?
I don't know. Kobe White had a nice game the other night. I think it was 44 points.
Yeah, he did.
But I don't get it. Like, I would just sit Vooch, play Patrick, let him get some minutes in, have him try something different. But Giddey and Kobe White both got like player, what is it? What do they call it? 2 players received votes for Conference Player of the Week. So both of them. So, I mean, you like to see them, work together and all, be together as one team, but I don't get what we're trying to do here. They're having fun. They look great, but I don't know what the direction is. We have so many guards. We talked about this all season. Patrick, not really, doing his best when it comes to playing his position, but he has moments where he looks great and electric. I don't know where to go from here. They're fun to watch now, I guess, because they're all, playing together, but I don't know. I don't know what else to see or what to expect. It's like a 50-50 coin toss every game. Right now they're beating the Pacers by 10, I think. But okay, I don't. What's next?
Well, the Pacers are having a tough week, and they also lost Halliburton to an ankle injury. He suffered with like 19 seconds into the last game or something like that. So he's out. So he's one of their big cogs. If the Bulls are up 19, bet against the Bulls right now and make some money.
So it's 67-48 right now, Bulls. So if you're going to make a bet, place that bet on the Pacers, as Big Z's doing live right now. Overall, I think the top scorer right now is Giddey. This guy is a great player. I'm a fan of his. I think that was a great acquirement, but I'd like to see more. If we're going to make him the star, Kobe, who's like the main leader? Like when you had Kirk Heinrich, right? You knew he was a captain. You knew what his job was, to run the offense, to make sure everyone got some touches, have some quick reads. But yeah, I would like to see someone be the face and take charge. I mean, there's no Zach. I think you have Vooch there. But I think they distribute.
Vooch will be gone. Vooch will be gone at the end of the year, and then that's part of the issue, right? You got Zach Collins, who's been playing pretty well. Buzelis has been playing pretty well all season. If you put it to Josh Giddey had a triple-double in Miami in the absence of so many players.
Right.
But I feel like if Josh Giddey has a good game, then you have Kobe White who doesn't have a good game. And it's just like they're alternating because they still can't play together because they're two ball hogs. They both need to have the ball in their hand to be able to be a productive player. I just don't know whose team this is and what's the direction going forward.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the stats right now against the Pacers, you have Kobe White and Giddey for both a minute difference, with Kobe White with 16 points and Giddey with 21. Jones has 8. Buzelis has 2, and Collins has 5. So, like we're just talking about right now, they want the ball. Look at the difference in points. So I think having both of them is great, but at the same time, like, again, can they play off each other? Can they both have 22, 25, 33 points both, right? That'd be ideal. Right. We're not getting that. We're getting a little bit of 22 or 30 or 40 night game and then 20 points. So, I mean, I like to see them grow together, maybe in the offseason or get better at the end of this year, but we'll see.
Yeah. They're playing right now. Enjoy the kids playing. This is what you wanted, right? But they can't even tank correctly. You can't say, Vooch, Patrick, sit down. Lonzo Ball, go sit down. You've even Kobe. I know Ayo shut down for the year, but you've got to shut down a lot of these players who are not waiting for a contract. These guys who are under contract for years to come. Right. Great. Save your body for next year. The guys who are leaving this year, thanks for your service. We got about a month left of the season. See you later. Thanks for your contributions. You have anything else before we transition over to the Blackhawks?
No, we could do that.
Awesome. Let's see. Today's the 10th of March. On the March 1st, the Blackhawks acquired Spencer Knight from the Florida Panthers. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, and he started that night too, by the way.
Yeah, and he killed it. He's been doing very well for the Blackhawks.
Yep.
And then March 7th, the Blackhawks acquired Joe Valerno from the Red Wings. Really good trade as well.
We did not trade Ryan Donato. We didn't trade him, so he stayed with us. So pretty much
we traded Peter Mazurek though. We got rid of the goalie that was struggling. So we got a goalie. We traded a goalie.
I just think right now with our knight in shining armor here, this kid plays lights out. I think majority of the week as he's been playing, defense has been the key and keeping us in games, honestly. Because with him, I think the other night was 42 out of 43 shots blocked. Yeah. And that's what we want. We needed a goalie, and that was a position that we needed to fill because it was hurting our season. Now, does that mean we're going to tank? No, we're going to probably win a couple more games here and there. I mean, we lost again, same thing, same situation. We're going the right way, but not really. It's great to see these guys win. And of course, you don't want to be like the White Sox and lose and have bad energy in the clubhouse, but I just think that everyone's having fun. You see Connor getting the game-winning overtime shot to end the game, just saying this is over. Yesterday went to a shootout in overtime, but hey, you know what? We're still in the games. We're not getting blown out 5-3 or losing the lead after we score maybe 3 goals and then we give it back up and lose. So
yeah, they definitely have been doing a lot better. They're playing the Avalanche today. They're playing now.
They're playing right now. They just started.
Yeah. They also acquired Aku Rate and Victor Soderstrom.
Yeah.
And Shea Weber's contract. So Shea Weber's from the Utah Hockey Club, and they gave up a 2026 5th-round pick. We got a couple young prospects in Rate and Soderstrom.
And they called up a kid to go play tonight. It's Artyoma. That's his first name. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm gonna have to practice on that one. It's Levshunov. So yeah, he was one of our top picks, and he's coming up playing tonight. So I'd love to see him play tonight.
Artem Levesham. No, I can't say that.
I can't. I don't know. I can't do it. I gotta hear it in the announcers pronounce it a couple times, and then I'll be more comfortable with pronouncing it. But yeah, overall, again, we're testing out, putting people out, getting some play time, calling them up, see what they got, which is great. Get them have some NHL experience and move forward with that. I think next year maybe we'll be above 500 win team. I like to say so. I like to think so.
I like to think so. I think they'll be active on free agency and shore up some of the defensive holes that they have. I think we have a lot of good forwards and centers. I don't think we have. They're small and they're young,
right?
And that's part of it. They're small, and so I believe you need a couple Bufflins to put back their defensive line to protect these guys, so that way they're not getting smacked around. They're not giving it any kind of respect. So, yeah, I mean, again. This is why we did so much on the Bears, because the Blackhawks and Bulls they stink. It's still spring training. That's why we're not going to talk about baseball this week, because it's still spring training. Next week we'll go heavy with spring training before the Cubs and Dodgers series, because that's going to be exciting.
Now, did you want to go get that jersey, the one that Japanese artist,
the Tokyo version? Is sold out, and so did the baseball cards. They sold out within like minutes. So,
yeah. Would you have want one?
Of course.
A Dodgers one? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, they look nice, but I'm waiting for the throwback. So for this year, we'll see. They got me. But yeah, again, just to wrap it up with that. Again, I think the Blackhawks have a more promising house at the Madhouse than the Bulls do, unless we see something in free agency or what we're going to do with them. But yeah, I don't know. I still want to go maybe 1 or 2 more games to the Blackhawks, or try to go to 1 more, but we'll see.
Tickets should be cheap, so
yeah,
we'll definitely do that. All right. I think we're done this week for our Chicago sports, but I do have a question for Stevie B, and that is, what is your stirring the pot this week, sir?
All right. So you guys know me. I'm a degenerate. I eat, regular food like normal people, like fast food. Taco Bell had an announcement. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, would you eat this or would you not eat this? But the new announcement came out, right? So would you eat this menu item from Taco Bell or would you not? Or would you consider trying it? But I will say this. They released a new Baja Blast Mountain Dew. And it's great. It's midnight. Let me get this correct here. It's a midnight Baja Blast. There you go. It looks amazing. If you haven't seen it, it looks delicious.
Is it just colored purple or is it a grape flavor?
No, it's going to have a different flavor to it, but they're going to call it Baja. There's got to be something different. If they just have it with just a different color, then that's kind of dumb, honestly. But yeah, so
is that one of them, the yay or nay on a Baja Blast?
Yeah, would you drink it? I mean, I enjoy Baja Blast. Yes or no?
JC, I'll let you go first on that one.
I never really cared for Mountain Dew to begin with. But it's one of those, I'm a Sprite, Coke, Dr. Pepper guy. I mean, I would try it. Yeah. Why not? I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by the Dr. Pepper, blackberry. I haven't had that yet, but it intrigues me. Yeah, why not?
While you're at your job, pick some up. So, Big Z, would you try it?
We don't sell Baja Blast.
No, I was talking about the Dr. Pepper.
We sell regular and Diet Dr. Pepper, but we don't sell the blackberry. And I kind of want to buy one before I buy a case. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of want to find one like sitting in a gas station or something.
There you go.
Before I go buy a case somewhere.
You know what? I'll try it. I've had the regular Baja Blast and I've done the Diet Baja Blast or the Zero, whichever one what they call it. I'll try it. It looks something like that. Well, it might be a little too sugary for me at the end, but definitely give it a try.
All right, cool. Yeah, I definitely drink it. No problem. All right, the next item is a Mexican pizza empanada. So it's a cult classic Mexican pizza inside of a classic crispy empanada shell. So I don't like that.
So it's the ingredients of the Mexican pizza inside of an empanada.
Yep. Yeah.
What's in a Mexican pizza? Isn't it all the ingredients all the same thing?
Yeah. So pretty much it's just beef and cheese. Pretty much.
So it's a beef and cheese empanada.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I don't know why they put the pizza in there but that's what it looks like. I mean, you'll probably put tomatoes in there and like all the, stuff, except lettuce. Yeah. JC, would you eat that? Try it. Doesn't, yeah.
I think I've told you guys about there's a restaurant in McHenry that I go to that does some crazy concoctions with food. I think I've spoken to you guys about it before. They do a sandwich where it's pulled pork with a cherry Coke glaze, chicken tenders, and mozzarella sticks all in one sandwich. So
the heart attack special.
Yeah, but I don't. It's one of those like I'll eat there maybe once every 6 months, but it's one of those where it's like, yeah, they have some. I think the last time I went there, they had a smash burger where it was a smash burger inside of a mac and cheese grilled cheese.
Okay, that sounds great. I'd try that.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes for some interesting, food stuff, and I essentially, I would try it once. Why not? If I like it, great. If I don't, I tried it.
Yeah. I don't see anything appetizing for that. So for me, I'm out on that one, dog. I'm out on that chicken empanada. No.
Next one is, so we always say that, Taco Bell's meat is not meat. Okay. Well, they're switching it up a bit. They're having brisket tacos. So on a It's not on like the taco hard shell. No, it's on the soft, delicious flour tortilla. Featured on slow roasted brisket, shredded cheese, and purple cabbage with some kind of Taco Bell featured sauce. So, I like cabbage in there. It reminds me of an like an expensive like Big Star taco. I gotta fix this now. But yeah, okay. So it's Alpha Focus. So yeah, so JC, would you try it? Okay.
Sorry, could you repeat what I'm trying?
He's looking at these trades. Brisket taco. So taco features slow roasted.
Yeah,
brisket,
I was looking at the Chargers just signed. The Chargers just signed Najee Harris. So I got an update and was looking at that.
Okay.
So one more time, something with cabbage. I know.
Yeah. So it's a slow roasted brisket with shredded cheese and purple cabbage, and some nice little sauce. Yeah.
I am. If you guys know anything about me, I am a huge barbecue fan. I have a large smoker at 2 of my houses, and
we have not gotten an invite for brisket, have we, Big Z?
Not for brisket.
I was gonna say but but I usually cook like 1 brisket a year or 2 briskets depending on company and different things. But I am always down for brisket if it is done correctly. If brisket is not done correctly, it can be very chewy and very rubbery. So that is my only concern with anything from Taco Bell. Concerning brisket is that meat could be a little rubbery if not done properly.
Their steak is rubbery. So they changed that recipe like 4 or 5 times. I don't, they went and they hired this executive Mexican chef, and then the meat was good for a good 6 months, and then they went back to the bag stuff. So I'm gonna try that one just to say, I'm gonna try the brisket. It did look decent. I think it might be better inside of a chalupa, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I wanted to try Chipotle's the brisket bowl.
Oh, dude, that was good.
Was it?
That was really good.
Do they still have it?
No, that's done. No, they're done. Yeah, they had the chicken. They had the chicken al pastor, and then they switched to the brisket, and both of those are amazing. But they're done with that. So I don't know what the next item they're going to bring out, but definitely did enjoy the brisket. Cooked to perfection.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You got one more, Steve?
I'll just throw these out really quick. We don't have to say yes or no. But they're having a purple chili sauce. So it's 3 chilies. So it's habanero, ghost pepper, y pecan. So yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, literally, me and Sean were talking about on the podcast No Water, if you saw the show. We would not be feeling well downstairs. It would be a crime scene and hemorrhoid city, for sure. Next one is an Uwe strawberry cookie. So it's a sugar cookie stuffed with vanilla, ice cream, and strawberry pieces plus sprinkles. This thing, I'm not eating that. No. We got the short rib chili relleno burrito. I'm saying like a white person because it's Taco Bell.
It is Taco Bell.
Yes. You don't. Oh, do you like chili?
I don't like chili rellenos. Nope, I heard that story. Nope, I don't like chili rellenos, and I heard that story yesterday.
How about poutine fries?
No, not a fan of that. JC, poutine fries.
I've had poutine in Canada. Not a fan. It's something like the brown
There goes
gravy.
JC.
The brown gravy for me, like I didn't really like it. I didn't care for it. It was,
I'm not a fan of the meal.
But I tried it, and that's the big thing to me is like I'm willing to try anything. Give me crawfish, give me alligator, give me,
Oh, you and Sean would get along great.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Oysters. I'll do oysters. I don't care.
If it moves, you guys are eating it. So
Yeah.
the last one I got.
I eat my vegetables as well.
Yeah. Like I drink my water. I think it's the first time you ever seen me drink water on this show.
That's because it's not the weekend anymore.
Oh no, I overdid it last night. The last one is mini taco salad. So it's a small bite-sized version of the iconic taco salad and added salsa verde and lime. The small little thing, very small.
Yeah, I mean a taco salad. It's mostly just it's everything that they offer. So I think probably the healthiest option they have there.
Yeah, I mean if you're going there for health, I don't know. They have a bowl there. Yeah. They have a bowl there, which is with the grilled chicken. It's good.
I tried it. It was garbage.
Really? You didn't like it?
Yeah, I thought it was garbage. I think the rice was overcooked. Not enough beans.
Yeah, I will say this: if when we do go and try all these things, and me and Sean spend $100 total, not a piece, we're not going to the one that's in Logan Square, that cantina, because they always forget sauces, and it's like you need the sauce. You cannot not have. Huh?
There's one right here on Western, man, right by me.
Yeah, now I know that one that's there. I never go to that one.
Yeah,
so
we can go.
So yeah. Other than that, yeah, just Taco Bell has some great stuff coming out, and I'm excited to try them. Since we're doing now,
can I be honest? I think I've eaten Taco Bell 3 times in my life.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not. I'd rather stop at TBK. I mean, I live right by TBK, so I'd rather stop there than.
Oh no, I would rather have authentic Mexican food every day, of course.
Look, I'm not saying TBK is necessarily authentic, but I mean it's better than.
I don't know.
I hope at least their steak is steak.
Yeah, it is steak, but it's also not. It's not a quote unquote meat that comes in a bag that they just boil warm and put it in your taco. So. All right.
Love it.
Yeah, I know you do. I probably have like maybe twice a year. That's my limit for Taco Bell. But.
And then also I want to point out that you posted a lot of throwback photos on there. So nostalgia, A
little bit of nostalgia through some throwback photos. I had some time at work and I was like, all right, make this. And I'll post some more next week or this week that I find in there. And I'm going to continue to do that. If you haven't done so, I'm adding all these pictures to the True Chicago Sports Fans podcast Instagram because the original Instagram, it's not operational for whatever reason. So we're trying to build this one back up. So enjoy the pictures that are on there. I'll post all the old stuff on there as the week goes through. But
I'm just thinking of some kid. He's asking for your help, and you're like, "Hold on, 1 second, 1 second."
Hold on. I'm done with my post yet. I'm doing the exact same thing they do to me. Exactly. So the shoe's on the other foot now. So hope they like it. All right, boys. I think this is it. I know it was a short one today. I'm actually a little bit under weather, fighting a cold. I don't know if you can hear my voice, but it was really Bears centric because that's what's important today is the Chicago Bears. The other teams are man. Next week we'll catch up with any Bears news, and then we'll focus on the Cubs Dodgers series, and maybe like a couple minutes on the White Sox if they have any news. But definitely,
if I can hop in 1 second,
go for it.
Just a what you watching real quick. I started watching it last night, and it actually is pretty good. A new show called Deli Boys.
I saw it on Hulu. Yeah.
Yep. Kind of turned it on for a comedy show. It's worth a watch. Not terribly funny, but it's one of those where it's better than most of the stuff I've been watching recently. So I thought I'd mention it. If anyone's a comedy fan out there, it's a new show that has some ethnicity to it, and is kind of funny and kind of out there. So
nice,
worth a watch.
Did you see Daredevil yet?
I've seen, I think, just the 2 episodes, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
I need to rewatch a little bit of the 2nd episode because I was kind of knocked in and out from episode 1 to episode 2. So I saw the end of episode 2, but I kind of missed some of that beginning, middle section.
Big Z, what'd you think?
No, I love Daredevil. I'm excited for tomorrow. As soon as I get home from work, well, actually, from bowling.
It starts at 8.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
at
see
8.
it live. Yeah. So
They release on Tuesdays.
yeah, I thought it would be like. I thought it would be in the mornings. Now they do it at nighttime at 8. So that's Central Standard Time. It's 9 Eastern and 6 West Coast. But I break down pretty much everything I saw. And
are you gonna go on Twitch?
Yeah, if you're going on Twitch and whatever. So I'm gonna figure that out if I'm gonna do that. I think we talked about last week if I have to take the clips and I'll watch my own reactions and just clip it, but we'll see. So I have to do breakdown analysis. If you go listen to the show on YouTube for right now, Sean's working on the audio to get the audio episode up for that part. And yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. I've been watching everything as you've been watching. That show was on my radar as well. But Reacher for me, Reacher, and Severance. That's it. Reacher and Severance.
Yep.
Oh, look away. Oh, we were about to jump off too. Look,
we can close if you want.
No. Look who showed up. Look who showed up.
Yeah,
did you have a conversation with your best buddy?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Exactly.
he who shall not be named.
He who should not be named, who is banned.
Lord Voldemort.
Oh, well, either way, fuck that cunt. But I mean, I was just gonna jump in real quick to say, how happy I was about today. But if we're wrapping,
absolutely, yeah. Let's talk about it.
No, it's a good.
Got a couple minutes.
It was a good day. Like I'm not going to get over my skis here, and say we're going to go to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But
I'm saying that.
That's exactly okay, Stephen. You go ahead off the ledge. There you go. But no, I mean, it was exactly what we needed. It's exactly what we needed to do as a team. Address the lines. Make sure you get some veterans that are in there. It looks like they've added leadership on top of the quality players. So it's all a plus for me. I'm just not going to go ahead and be over ecstatic and elated about it because we need to see it play out. We still need to see it play out. I know the Bears are doing some good things, but again, let's just hold our horses. Let's see what the plan is. Let's see how these guys end up fitting and playing for us, because I know how we got the last couple off seasons, and it ended up in disarray. So I would just say, just allow it to play out. But I think what the Bears are doing is really, really good, especially when you hear guys saying that they want to come to Chicago.
Yeah, when there's more money offered somewhere else, and they're like, "Nah, I'm going to go to Chicago." That speaks volumes of what the vision of the organization has been showing everyone else, especially with you're getting the coach that everyone wanted, and then he, gets the staff that is kind of an all-star staff of different people that are well versed and they're big names. And then you go out there and you spend money and you make trades to address what we've been saying for years: the offensive line and the defensive line. Address it. And now they've done that. So it's a great day for Chicago Bears fans. It's a great day for Chicago, for us to finally see a team that looks like to put their money where their mouth is and show the love to Chicago Bears fans, especially after you said you're going to raise the price 10%. And, you had to put up or shut up and spend this money and put some people in place. And like you said, the leadership aspect as well. Was definitely, it looks like a big deal there. Ivan, I wanted to ask you this, and I asked the rest of the boys, what do you think the direction of the draft will be with pick number 10?
If it's not trade down to the middle teens, you're going to probably draft the best player available. In my eyes, it's still not a running back, but for me personally, this is me, I'm going defensive end. Like whether I stay there or I trade back down, I want to go defensive end, because I just think that there's going to be a drop off at the end at a certain point. And I want to grab probably the best one. I think you'll be able to grab a guy in that second round, either a tackle or if you want a guard. I don't know why you grab another guard, but for me, I'd grab a tackle that you can draft and you can be happy developing. And like a guy like Ursary from Minnesota, I really like, and he's been projected kind of in that area. So like there's some tackles out there that you can definitely draft and definitely can contribute. But I think that just the quality of the play for defensive ends at the top of the draft is just by far better than the play at the back end of the draft with these guys.
Or
JC?
don't be scared if Pierce falls into that second round because of his off-field issues.
Right.
It might be time for the Bears to take a criminal and put him on the Bears team.
I just said that. I literally just said that today, JC. See, we're on the same page, me and JC.
This whole like we can't swear on Hard Knocks. I agree. I agree with my guy over here, Ivan. You know what? The Bears need to get over this whole like we can't have bad people on our team and what. Look, we got Thuney now. We got a lot of veterans on this team that need to hold some guys accountable and be like, look, we've been on winning organizations. We know what winning takes. This is the new standard. Here's what we're doing. Get with the program or get out. That said, I am also with Ivan. I don't want to get over my skis. After last year with Hard Knocks, with everything we were sold in the offseason, it's going to be hard to make this roster, and then we end up seeing the team be what it was. It's like face palm to, like, what are we doing kind of situation. So I'm with Ivan. I don't want to get overly excited. But as I stated earlier in the show, that this is everything that a Bears fan has asked for this offseason. Rebuild the trenches, give Caleb a fighting chance, that he won't have to repeat a 60-sack, 50-sack season. This has been a problem from Trubisky, Justin Fields to Caleb. Hopefully, we now have an offensive line that can protect the quarterback to a reasonable ability. I'm not saying that they can't allow a sack, but can we get into that like 20 sacks range, 25 sacks a year? Like, I know we can't stop all the sacks, but I mean, good God, like, let's not have this kid on a stretcher.
Right. No, he's right. He's absolutely right. It's that, and what they did was they protected in front of Caleb. Right now, you would imagine in front of Caleb should be a lot more solidified, right? So you don't have guys right in his face immediately as soon as the ball's snapped, where he could step up in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to roll out left and right, and some plays might break down, or when plays break down because of the offensive line, now you're able to step up in the pocket, deliver the ball, and things will start coming a lot more quickly and clearly for him.
Or you won't have a photo where there's 4 offensive linemen sitting on their asses while Caleb's running for his life.
Yeah, oh yeah, I have that picture somewhere. The one, who was it? Darnell Wright's like as if he's on a beach. Like I'm dead serious. Like it's
like painting like your French toys.
Yes.
That
photo, paint me like one of your French girls. Yeah.
That photo encapsulated what the Bears line was last year, unfortunately. And we kept did we tagged or did we restrict? I forget the tag name, but Bill Murray. I think we tagged him as well. So I think, as far as I know,
he restricted him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still with us for now.
Yeah.
And I mean, he played pretty well in spots until he got hurt. So that'll be a nice back piece behind Thuney and these guys that, God forbid, we should need him. Hopefully he can play pretty well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Personally, I'm with you, Ivan. For me, I said earlier in the show, I still do not, because I brought up that Thuney's 32 years old. We haven't extended him yet. So whether or not we extend him or not, that like I still wouldn't pass up Will Campbell potentially as a left guard long term.
Yeah.
And or Membu as the left tackle long term, replacing Braxton Jones, who is a free agent next year.
You got to stack these contracts out so that way, if you do re-sign them, then you have a plethora, maybe trade bait. But again, you've got to continue to stack offensive linemen every year on through the draft or through free agency, so that way your quarterback is protected. If, especially right now, while he's on his rookie contract, then you can add a lot of money pieces to the team. So we're on a very short timeline for us to get to the promised land, which is a Super Bowl. So right now is the time to spend while he's on his rookie contract. And I think right now it's a good step. I would give this Bears Day today. I would grade it an A-. I wouldn't give it a regular A or A+. I would give it an A-. Again, there's always room for improvement, but I am very happy with what they've done in free agency and through trades in the last 10 days.
They also reports are that the San Francisco 49ers have released Kyle Juszczyk. And I think Kyle Juszczyk, even though he's at 33, with a limited contract, like as far as years are concerned, I think he could be a huge contributor to the Chicago Bears. 9-time Pro Bowler, at fullback, granted, but his abilities are more than that. He could play H-back. He could go out wide. Like the Niners have used him in so many different ways that he's not necessary. He's a fullback, but he's more than just a fullback. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife of a player. So I would like him signed too, especially if you're going to go ahead and refocus the running game, which I think that they will. They'll be their own team, but they'll try to run the ball like they did in Detroit.
Who's the second running back?
Well,
that's San
depends.
Francisco. San Francisco, you have C-Mac and Jordan Mason still. Could they draft a rookie? Absolutely, especially with Jordan Mason was nicked up constantly last year, and C-Mac has the tendonitis. So I could see them potentially, drafting a rookie running back at some point during the draft.
Ivan, before we jump off, are you excited as we are for the Cubs-Dodgers series next week?
I'm about to not go to work that day. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying you know what? I'm gonna wake up, put on the game, start the drinking. Maybe I might grill at 6 a.m. I'm not fucking.
What's your address? I'll be right over.
Yeah, I might.
Work.
Yeah, Steven. Yeah, come over, Steven. We can watch it. We should do a show and just watch the whole thing.
There you go.
Yeah, that works.
I'm telling you, I'm so excited because I just feel like with as bad as this Bears season was, as shitty as the Bulls are, and the Hawks, they're just not good. I'm not gonna say they're shit. They're just not good right now. But with that being said, you need some change. And baseball, at least on the north side, looks like it's going to be a fun year.
I got nothing to say. What are you laughing for? I already know this.
I know, but it's funny to see your reaction.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine.
Hey, I'll go to opening day with you.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
The song. Hold on, let me get the. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Here it goes. Let's go, go, go. Right, I don't want to get too long. So you look at March 15th and March 16th.
That's also St. Patrick's Day weekend too. So we're going to
they have two exhibition games on March 15th and March 16th. You have two exhibition games, and then March 18th and 19th is the Cubs and Dodgers.
And then the week after that, on the 27th, right, is the Sox opener.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to go get the merchandise for the first day and then flip it and then just have a walking taco, have some expensive Modelo because tariffs. And yeah, so that'd be fun. I think
let's be real. The Modelo was expensive before the tariffs. Like all that shit was expensive before the tariffs.
It was $15 before we did.
I mean, everything's expensive for me right now, but I'll still have a good time. Credit card, yeah.
As an American bourbon collector, when Canada started pulling all the bourbon off the shelf, I was like, send it back, baby. Ooh, I can't wait to have the Eagle Rare, the Blantons. Woo, bring it back to America.
Cheap.
And make sure when the price is $80 a bottle, it should now be $55 because we have a plethora of extra.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I can use some Blantons right now.
Yeah. I've been just killing so many Yinglings they could call me Anakin.
Well,
you know,
my Eagle Rare is off to the side over here.
Oh gosh.
I'm gonna hit up Yingling right after this. I put him up on Twitter. I'm like, hey man, we need a sponsor for the show. You want to come to the Chicago market? You gotta talk to us.
You got a guy that'll just slay them all for you right here. I'll tell you that much.
It's a great beer.
I was gonna say, I know my place just started carrying Yingling this week.
Yep.
Yeah, they're literally coming in hard, and
I've never had it.
It's great beer. Yeah, I've had it before. They were great beer. Definitely great beer.
Well, that's what always gets me about Spotted Cow. It's like
the same
thing.
So good. Like
I refuse to drink it. It's from Wisconsin. So
listen, you can refuse to drink it. I'll drink it all.
More for us. More for us, JC.
that Wisconsin border is 15 minutes from my place up north, and I make sure to cross that border every now and again and get me some Spotted Cow.
That's right.
Great stuff. All right, boys. We're gonna sign off right now, but definitely next week we're gonna be talking about Cubs and Dodgers. Hopefully, Ivan can join up a little earlier, so because he's a huge Cub fan, and it'll be a lot of talking smack. And if there are any other Bears news, check us out on True Chicago Sports Fans on our Facebook page. You can follow us on all of our socials. Stevie B, No Water on the Weekend, spelled WKND, on his Instagram. You got JC Dynasty Fantasy Football FF on X. Ivan at the Tape Never Lies. I can't read your handle; it's too small there.
Oh, it's just at Ivan V _TTNO.
There we go. And you can find me at Big Z _606 Media on all social platforms. Thank you everybody who listened, who watched, who followed, who dropped comments. It's been 238 episodes, and we thank you for every single one of them for watching, listening. Thank you to our sponsor, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans. And you can check us out, like I said, on the socials. If you got a topic you want to talk about, whether it's sports, it's movies, it's food, hit us up at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, for Ivan, JC, Steven, I am Big Z. We'll see you next time for episode 239. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.
Swoosh.